For Your Eyes Only is a 1981 spy film directed by John Glen in his feature directorial debut and produced by Albert R. Broccoli. The film stars Roger Moore as a fictional MI6 agent James Bond and co-stars Carole Bouquet, Chaim Topol, Lynn-Holly Johnson and Julian Glover. The 12th film in the James Bond franchise, produced by Eon Productions, For Your Eyes Only was written by Richard Mabum and Michael G. Wilson, based on two Ian Fleming short stories, For Your Eyes Only and Henry Sisko. In the plot, Bond attempts to locate a missile command system while becoming tangled in a web of deception spun by rival Greek businessman, along with Melina Havelock, a woman seeking to avenge the murder of her parents. Some of the writing elements were inspired by the novels Live and Let Die, Goldfinger, and On Her Majesty's Secret Service. After the science fiction-focused Moonraker, the producers wanted to return to the style of the earlier Bond films and the works of 007 creator Fleming. For Your Eyes Only followed a grittier, more realistic approach and narrative theme of revenge and its consequences rather than the fantasy narrative of Moonraker. Filming locations included Greece, Italy and United Kingdom, while underwater footage was shot in the Bahamas. Sheena Easton performed the title theme song. For Your Eyes Only was released in the UK on 24th of June 1981 and in the US 2 days later. It received mixed to positive critical reception. The film's reputation has improved over time, with reviewers praising the more serious tone in comparison to the previous entries in the series. The film was a financial success, generating $195.3 million worldwide. This was the final Bond film to be distributed solely by United Artists. The company was absorbed by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer soon after the film's release. The cast includes Roger Moore as James Bond, an MI6 agent 007 who's sent to retrieve a stolen ATAC system that could be misused for controlling British submarines. Carole Bouquet as Melina Havelock, the daughter of a marine archaeologist, were murdered whilst tracking down the ATAC's whereabouts. Bouquet had auditioned for the role of Holly Goodhead in Moonraker, but was unsuccessful. Chaim Topol as Milos Colombo, Kristana's enemy and former smuggling partner. He convinces Bond to side with him. Named after Giancino Colombo, the Ferrari engine designer, specifically the Ferrari 125, which Fleming admired. Topol suggested the pistachios as a trademark of the character, which are used in the warehouse assault scene to orient Colombo's men on where to shoot. Lynn-Holly Johnson as Bibi Dahl, an ice-skating prodigy who has a crush on Bond. She's training with the financial support of Christinos. Johnson was an ice skater before turning to acting and achieved second place at the novice level of 1974 United States Figure Skating Championships. Michael Wilson explained that she was written as a character that antagonizes Bond. Julian Glover as Aristol Christos, a former war hero turned smuggler, initially shown as an ally, later as the main villain, planning to expand his fortune by selling the ATAC to the KGB. Glover had been shortlisted as a possible Bond for Live and Let Die, eventually losing out to Moore. Cassandra Harris as Lazille, the Count von Schluff, Colombo's mistress. At the time of filming, Harris was married to future Bond actor Pierce Brosnan, and the couple lunched with the film's producer, Albert R. Broccoli, during filming. Michael Gothard as Emile Leopold Locke, a Belgian hired assassin known by his optical-rimmed glasses. He turns out to be the associate of Christinos. And James Villiers as Bill Tanner, MI6 Chief of Staff. The role of Tanner first appeared in the film The Man with the Golden Gun, although in an uncredited capacity. Villiers presumed he would play the role of M in subsequent films and was disappointed to not be asked. The producers thought him too young for the role and wanted an actor in their 70s. Ian Fleming wrote the original story, For Your Eyes Only, as an episode of a cancelled James Bond television series at CBS in 1958. Eon Productions originally intended to produce For Your Eyes Only after The Spy Who Loved Me. However, after the success of Star Wars in 1977, the producers decided to produce Moonraker instead. Moonraker was successful yet very expensive to produce, and shortly afterwards United Artists made a financial flop with Michael Cimino's Heaven's Gate. This, along with the early 1980s recession, required For Your Eyes Only to have a lower budget. For Your Eyes Only marked a change in the makeup of the production crew, with all the previous series directors unable to direct because the studio could not afford to hire them. They went with John Glen, who was promoted from his duties as film editor to director, a position he would occupy for 4 subsequent films. The transition in directors and lower budget resulted in a harder-edged directorial style, and less emphasis on gadgetry and large action sequences in huge arenas, as was favoured by Gilbert in the previous 2 films. Emphasis was placed on tension, plot and character, in addition to a return to Bond's more serious roots, whilst For Your Eyes Only showed a clear attempt to activate some lapsed and inactive parts of the Bond mythology. There was some uncertainty surrounding Moore's involvement in the movie, as some considered Moore too old for the role now. This led to other actors being considered to take over, including Lewis Collins, known in the UK for his portrayal of Bodhi in The Professionals, Ian Ogilvy, known for his role as Simon Templar in The Return of the Saint, Michael Billington, who had previously appeared in The Spy Who Loved Me as Agent XXX, ill-fated lover Sergei Boroskov, and Michael Jaston, who had appeared as a spy in the British TV series Quiller. Timothy Dalton was also strongly considered, but Dalton declined as he disliked the direction the series was taking at the time. Also, Dalton did not think the producers were seriously looking for a new 007 and explained his idea of Bond was different. When Moore discovered that Broccoli and Saltzman were screen testing actors without his knowledge, he announced in the Daily Mail that he would not return to play Bond. However, the producers convinced him to return just 2 weeks later. Bernard Lee died of cancer on the 16th of January 1981 after filming began For Your Eyes Only, but before he could film his scenes as M, the head of MI6, as he had done in the previous 11 films of the series. Out of respect, no new actor was hired to assume the role, as Broccoli refused to have a character recast, and instead the script was rewritten so that the character said to be on leave, letting Chief of Staff Bill Tanner take over the role as the acting head of MI6 and briefing Bond alongside the Minister of Defence. This is only the second time N has been omitted from a Bond production, the first being in 1954's TV adaptation of Casino Royale. Ironically, the original For Your Eyes Only short story dealt with Bond being given personal permission by M, one of the few times in the Ian Fleming canon that 007 did his superior a direct favour. Julian Glover joined the cast as producers felt he was stylish. Glover was even considered to play Bond at some point, but Michael G. Wilson stated, "When we first thought of him, he was too young, and by the time For Your Eyes Only came around, he was too old." Carole Bouquet was a suggestion of United Artists publicist Jerry Duro, and after Glen and Broccoli saw her in that obscure object of desire, they went to Rome to invite Bouquet for the role of Melina. The title song was written by Conti and Michael Leeson and was sung by Sheena Easton, who was the first title song artist to appear on screen in a Bond film. As designer Morris Binder liked Easton's appearance and decided to add her to the opening credits. The production of the film hired Debbie Harry to sing Conti and Leeson's song, but she quit when the producers refused to allow her band Blondie to write and perform an original song for the film. Blondie's rejected song, titled For Your Eyes Only, can be found in their 1982 album, The Hunter. One of the strengths For Your Eyes Only lies in its return to the more grounded and realistic approach, reminiscent of earlier Bond films. The film offers a refreshing break from the over-the-top antics and gadgetry that had become prominent in the franchise. Instead, it emphasizes character-driven storytelling and focuses on espionage, making it much more relatable and engaging. Roger Moore delivers another solid performance here as Bond, effortlessly embodying the suave, sophisticated nature of the character. His portrayal balances the charm, wit, and action prowess that fans have come to expect from the iconic spy, and this is by far and away one of Moore's better portrayals as the character. Moore's chemistry here with Carole Bouquet, who plays Melina Havelock, is particularly notable, adding depth to their characters' relationship and motivations. The action sequences in For Your Eyes Only are well executed and thrilling, showcasing Bond's resourcefulness and physical prowess. The film features a variety of set pieces, including a gripping ski chase, a tense underwater sequence, and a climatic mountaintop showdown. These sequences are skillfully crafted, providing intense moments of suspense and excitement. Another notable aspect of the film is its memorable score, composed here by Bill Conti. The theme song performed by Sheena Easton is catchy and fitting for the film's tone. Conti's score effectively complements the action and adds to the overall atmosphere of the movie. For Your Eyes Only successfully brings Bond back to a more grounded approach. The film weaves together multiple storylines and introduces various characters, which can make it challenging at times to keep track of all the intricacies. However, the film ultimately ties the narrative threads together, delivering a much more satisfying conclusion. For me, For Your Eyes Only is a solid entry in the James Bond film series, offering a return to the more grounded and realistic portrayal of this iconic spy. With strong performances, engaging action sequences, and a well-crafted score, the film provides an entertaining and suspenseful experience. While the plot may be complex at times, it does not detract significantly from the overall enjoyment. For me, this is by far and away Roger Moore's best take on the character, and the best film with Roger Moore in the lead. By no means one of the strongest Bond films, it's definitely a much more solid entry in the James Bond canon. For Your Eyes Only gets a 7 out of 10.